My Best Wife. A journey of love and resilience in the quiet town of Willow Creek, nestled between rolling hills and whispering pines, lived a man named Thomas Reed. At 42, Thomas was a carpenter with hands calloused from years of shaping wood into furniture that told stories of their own. His life was steady, predictable, and solitary until he met Eleanor. She wasn't just his wife, she was, as he often said, his best wife, though she was the only one he'd ever had. Their story, woven through years of joy, struggle, and unshakable love, is one worth telling. It all began 12 years ago at the annual Willow Creek Harvest Festival. Thomas, then 30, was manning a booth, selling hand-carved wooden trinkets. His life was simple, his heart guarded after a youth spent caring for his ailing mother, leaving little room for romance. The festival was alive with laughter, the scent of apple cider, and the hum of a fiddle band. Amid the crowd, a woman approached his booth. She had auburn hair that caught the sunlight like autumn leaves, and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Her name was Eleanor. "These are beautiful," she said, picking up a carved wooden sparrow. "Did you make them?" Thomas nodded, shy under her gaze. "Been carving since I was a boy. Keeps my hands busy and my mind quiet." Eleanor smiled, a warm, unguarded smile that made Thomas's heart skip. "They're more than just carvings," she said. "They feel alive. Like they have stories to tell." That simple exchange sparked hours of conversation. Eleanor, a schoolteacher who'd moved to Willow Creek to escape the chaos of city life, was a listener as much as a talker. She asked Thomas about his craft, his dreams, and the quiet life he led. By the end of the evening, as the festival lights dimmed, Thomas realized he didn't want the night to end. He asked her to meet him for coffee the next day, and to his surprise, she said yes. Their courtship was a slow dance, built on shared moments. Walks through the woods, late-night talks on her porch, and Eleanor's habit of leaving little notes in Thomas's toolbox with quotes from her favorite books. She was a whirlwind of warmth and wit, balancing Thomas's reserved nature with her boundless enthusiasm. Within a year, they were married in a small ceremony under a willow tree, surrounded by close friends, and the scent of spring. Eleanor wasn't just a wife in the traditional sense. She was Thomas's partner in every way. She saw the world through a lens of possibility, encouraging him to dream bigger. When Thomas hesitated to open his own carpentry shop, fearing failure, Eleanor spent evenings helping him draft a business plan, her faith in him unwavering. "You're not just building furniture," she'd say. "You're building legacies." With her by his side, Thomas opened Reed's Woodworks, a shop that became a cornerstone of Willow Creek's community. But life, as it often does, tested their bond. 5 years into their marriage, Eleanor was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease. The news came like a storm, sudden and shattering. Thomas, who'd always been the steady one, felt the ground shift beneath him. The doctors warned that the disease was unpredictable. Some days Eleanor would be her vibrant self, others she'd be too weak to leave bed. Treatment was expensive, and the future uncertain. Yet Eleanor, true to her spirit, faced it with courage that humbled Thomas. "We've got this," she'd say, squeezing his hand, even on days when pain shadowed her eyes. She refused to let the illness define her. On good days, she'd teach her students with the same passion, filling their minds with stories and their hearts with hope. On bad days, she'd still find ways to make Thomas laugh, like when she'd sketch silly cartoons of them as superheroes fighting the great fatigue monster. Thomas, in turn, became her rock. He learned to cook her favorite meals, adjusted his work schedule to be home when she needed him, and spent nights researching her condition, determined to understand what she faced. Their home, once filled with the sound of her laughter, now held quiet moments of shared strength. One evening, as they sat on their porch, Eleanor turned to him. "You know why you're my best husband?" she teased, echoing his affectionate nickname for her. Thomas chuckled. "I'm your only husband." "True," she said, her voice soft. "But you're the best because you see me, not the sickness, not the struggle, just me." Their love deepened in those years, forged in the fire of adversity. Eleanor's illness brought them closer, teaching them to savor the small moments. A sunrise shared over coffee, a slow dance in their living room to a song only they could hear. Thomas began carving again, not just for his shop but for her, tiny wooden figures of their dreams. A house by the sea, a garden they'd plant one day, a family they hoped to have one winter. Eleanor's condition worsened. Hospital visits became frequent, and Thomas felt the weight of fear like never before. Yet Eleanor, even in her frailty, remained his light. One night, as she lay in a hospital bed, she handed him a notebook. Inside were letters she'd written to him, one for every day she might not be there. "Just in case," she whispered, her voice steady despite her trembling hands. "But don't read them yet. We've got more time." Miraculously, a new treatment showed promise, and Eleanor's health stabilized. It wasn't a cure, but it was hope. They celebrated with a quiet dinner at home, toasting to more time. Thomas framed one of her letters, unopened, and hung it above their fireplace. A reminder of her strength and their shared resolve today. Thomas and Eleanor are still in Willow Creek, living a life that's both ordinary and extraordinary. Eleanor teaches when she can, her classroom a beacon for her students. Thomas's shop thrives, each piece of furniture a testament to their journey. They've faced challenges that would break many, but Eleanor, his best wife, has shown Thomas that love isn't just in the grand gestures but in the quiet, steadfast moments of showing up, day after day. Their story isn't over, and neither is their love. As Thomas often says, "She's my best wife, not because she's perfect, but because she's perfectly her, and that's